Good morning. My name is Jane Howington. I'm the city manager for Hudson, and with me this morning is Hudson Police Chief Dave Robbins. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Jane.
We wanted to issue a press conference. We've had a whole lot of conversations and questions being asked about the unfortunate and difficult incident that happened last week. We didn't want to do just a press conference or a press release because this is actually an international incident, being that Saif's family is from overseas, and it's a state issue and it's a local issue. So we felt that it was important to not only get the information that the press and the media are interested in, but to get that information out to whoever's interested. So the reason we're doing this as a taped session is really to post this on our website and get it out so people that want it, that aren't of the media, can get answers and know what's going on. So first of all, we'd like to offer sympathy and extend sympathy to Saif's family. We know that this is very tragic and very unfortunate for that family, especially that they're far away. So we do want to be sensitive and acknowledge that we feel very, very sad for them. I also want to mention that this is really a very difficult situation and a life-changing situation for everybody else involved, be it from the people that witnessed the accident on the turnpike, the officers involved, the dispatchers involved, the emergency medical technicians that are involved. So there are many, many lives that a really tragic situation like this affects. And in part, that's why we're dealing with it the way we're dealing with it. So I wanted to start out talking about what we're doing. And Chief, right after the incident, as you became aware of the incident, I believe you just made the decision to turn it over to the Bureau of Criminal Investigations.
That's correct. I received a call at home when I called in to see what the issue was and was told that we had an officer-involved shooting. Having considered this possibility throughout my career that you know, what would we do if this happened, I felt because we're a small agency and we are limited in our experiences in investigating such things. That was probably the first reason that we wanted to use an outside agency. Second is, I think it affords a separation, that there's no confusion as to what everybody's role is. I wanted to purposely stay out of it, allow that outside investigation to occur. I think it's important for the public to understand because quite often in the climate that we live in today, there's sometimes a sense or a perception of impropriety that can occur. And by having an outside agency take over that investigation, hopefully it assuages those concerns for a lot of our citizens.
And I applaud that. I think that that's a very smart decision on your part. I think the idea that bringing an investigation from external, a third party, really helps that transparency. But it does bring complications.
Well, it does. I will not deny that with that come a number of frustrations, but because I made that decision, I'm being asked by the press what happened. And frankly, I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
We are, again, I knew that going in when we would ask an outside agency to do so, that they would run that investigation. When those questions were asked, I would not have the answers. And I know that's not what the public wants to hear and it's not what the press wants to hear. But I don't have any other recourse for them. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to create something just for the purpose of giving the press or the media something that's more solid. And I appreciate their position as well, but we just don't have anything at this time. I'm sure that as the investigation goes on, there may be releases to me, but I'm not sure if that's the way they're going to run it. So this is new for us. It's new for me. We can talk about I can tell you how long I've worked here and say, oh, that sounds like a lot of experience. At the end of the day, we only experience what we can experience, and for our agency, this is the first officer-involved shooting, I believe, in our entire history, which goes all the way back to the 40s. If there was an incident, it's been forgotten about, and it's not in any papers that I've been able to find. So
I wanted to make sure that people were aware that of the reason that you turned it over, and that once you turn over an investigation of an incident, and that's a big point here, is the incident becomes the investigation. At what point does that transition from an incident to an investigation? As we turn over the investigation, from that point on, it's out of your hands. So a lot of the information that's being requested, a lot of the did the victim have a gun, or was there another weapon? You know, what was the cause of this? What did you find in the vicinity, and so on? Those are things that are covered now by BCI.
that's correct.
With that investigation, and we're not privileged to that information. Likewise, the information for the dash cam and the recording that's being requested. There was a recent court case, I believe, that came out that indicated that dash cams and audio recordings are public record because they say they're part of the incident and not part of the investigation. But they have a major impact on the investigation. So that was another one. I think that court case just came out, that decision just came out.
2 days ago, there was a slip
Okay.
notice sent out by the Ohio Supreme Court, reference a State Highway Patrol case from 2015 relative to the release of dash cam video. I read it twice. I'm not an attorney. I think it's, I will leave the interpretation of that to the attorneys, but I would agree that there are, in most instances, most everything has to be released based on
Right.
what I was able to read with that. So
And I think
that brings us to today, yes.
So that's the other question. A lot of the media has been kind of frustrated at us for not releasing that more quickly. But we needed to give time to our attorney to read the court case and review that action to determine, was this an investigation part or was this the incident part? So we've been working with our attorney to do that. Our attorney has said yesterday late, he indicated that he was almost finished with that decision, and it looked like we would be releasing, he would be saying it was part of the incident. So we're preparing to release the dash cams, the police report, not the police report, the audios, and I believe the personnel files.
That's correct. Training records, et
By
cetera.
the end of today,
Yes.
by the end of the workday. So we're going to have all of that information. We're going to release that based on, we just need to get the attorney's final okay, and then we'll put that together and get that out to the media by the end of the day today.
Okay.
And once that's out, there really isn't very much more we can do about providing public information or any information.
Well, that's correct. I was at the scene, but I was outside of the crime scene
Yes.
tape. Again, there was no reason for me to be beyond that crime scene tape. I was probably at least a couple hundred feet away. Where the final incident occurred was down a hill in a ravine where it could not be seen by anybody standing where I was. Only the people that were investigating or had a need to be within that cordoned off area were in there, and it did not involve too many of our officers. EMS had to get in there. The officers that attempted to provide life-saving measures for the decedent, Mr. Saif, or Saif Nasser, the fire department at the end of the day to assist with removing Saif's body. Again, only those folks that needed to be in there, and I was not one of those folks, again, since I had already turned over the investigation.
Okay. So I appreciate that coverage for the public to understand what you saw, where you were, and how limited your involvement in this, and why you don't have some of the answers that they're asking for. Which leads us to say, that now becomes a very, very difficult time for all of us, because everybody, whether it's Saif's family, whether it's the police officer that was involved, whether it's yourself, the dispatchers, the media, we all want answers. But the answers come with the investigation.
And that's what we all have to be patient for and wait. And I know that's difficult. We're not, I'm not unsympathetic to Saif's family in knowing that they want answers. I cannot pretend to even say I understand what they're going through. I don't. I do know what we're going through as a department. Our department's been shaken. Our officers are hurting for a fellow officer, and our officer is hurting. These are difficult times. He has many questions I'm sure he's asking himself, and well, you know, I'm sure we will get through it. We just have to, as well as everybody else, be patient and wait for the outcome of the investigation.
Great. Well, thank you. I know it's a difficult time for you, and again for all of us and Saeed's family, and I hope that we can work through this together. We all, as you said, want answers of what happened and why he ran from the accident, which triggered the mutual aid call to us. We were just simply responding to a mutual aid call.
Correct.
We had no idea what was going on.
Something we
or
do
who was
all the
there.
time,
Yep.
and it's
Yep.
this
So,
is you know, considerably different outcome.
so again, we will be releasing the dash cam and the audio and the personnel records. Officer's name will be in there. That'll all be released by the end of the day today. We're waiting for the final go-ahead from our attorney, and then that information will be out there for whoever would like it, whoever needs to know it. So,
Okay.
thank you, and thank you everybody for your patience, and once again, our condolences to Saif's family.